Hello and welcome to Newsnight. I'm Adefemi Akinsanya, live in Warsaw, Poland. The first evacuation of Nigerian refugees in the Russia-Ukraine conflict has suffered a false start. The flight has been cancelled. To find out why, stay tuned. But for the rest of the top stories, it's over to Ngozi and Adesua in Abuja.
Thank you very much, Adefemi, right there in Warsaw in Poland. Well, in other top stories here on Newsnight, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency files 8-count charge against suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari.
And Russian President Vladimir Putin says his special military operation is going according to plan, even as his Ukrainian counterpart calls for direct talks with Putin. Thank you for joining us again. I am Adesua Omoruan.
And I am Ngozi Alibu. Glad to have you on Newsnight tonight. Well, hopes of a smooth evacuation of Nigerian refugees in Poland who are fleeing the war in Ukraine have been dashed. Polish authorities cancelled the flight after passengers were running more than 4 hours behind schedule. Carriers Air Peace say they couldn't flout aviation regulations, putting the focus on why the Nigerian embassy in Poland was unable to get passengers ready on time. Arise international correspondent Adefemi Akinsanya has been following the journey from Polish capital, where she sent in this report.
Evacuating the Nigerian refugees stuck in Poland after fleeing the Russia-Ukraine war was supposed to be a historic humanitarian collaboration between the private sector and Nigerian government. But it turned into a tale of tardiness. The 180-seat Air Peace flight arrived in Warsaw Chopin Airport from Lagos minutes after 9 a.m. The entire fleet of Nigerian evacuees should have already been at the airport ready to begin boarding at 10 a.m. But at that time, just this pair of twin sisters were at the airport. We found the vast majority of evacuees at a hotel approximately 9 kilometers away, where the bulk of passengers had already loaded onto these coaches. One passenger sharing his experience.
My journey getting to Poland was actually quite difficult. I was in the border trying to cross for 3 days.
Before it was clear, time was up. Once coaches arrived at the airport, they turned around to get more passengers, who joined the lengthy queue at the check-in to turn over their luggage, collect their boarding passes, and then head past security. This happening after 2 p.m. Passengers were then surprised when the flight was cancelled. But not the crew, who had been on duty since 8 a.m. Air Peace released a statement saying the cancellation was out of their hands since not enough passengers were ready at the correct time. Emails to Air Peace sent at 1:30 p.m. show Smartlinks, the charter airline, stating the illegality of operating a flight 5 hours behind schedule. The Nigerian ambassador to Poland argues the delay was caused by poor personal timekeeping of the evacuees, who he says were mostly reluctant to return to Nigeria.
We know the character of Nigerians. It is very difficult. Some of them say they are not traveling, before now. And by the time we started calling on them, you see them running from one place to another. I'm not surprised. I know the characters of Nigerians. And one need to be, hard on them. You have to work hard to gather them together, especially young people.
It's not us, actually, or neither the crew. It's the Polish authorities say, no, this crew cannot fly.
One of the evacuee students said news of the cancellation wouldn't be received well by his family.
My parents are expecting me and my loved ones, so basically they will be heartbroken. But I myself, I understand the situation on ground. It's not easy. People not coming back, only what I know about that is people who still have their loved ones remaining over there in Kyiv or maybe Ukraine, yeah. So those are the people I have the idea that, yes, they say they're not going back until maybe their friends and their brothers and sisters are with them and they can actually go back.
The Nigerian evacuees have now been taken to a hotel where they'll spend the night and are expected to regroup ahead of an early start on Friday. It's at that moment that the first batch of Nigerian evacuees will make their second attempt to flee the Russia-Ukraine war and make it home safely. Adefemi Akinsanya, Arise News, Warsaw.